88 Films.
For his sales, take one.
Cool. We're back.
Yes, sir.
We're back. We got my co-host Andy here, Andy
up?
Lobos, and then today we got a very, very special guest. Super special, long awaited, low-key, highly demanded.
Yeah.
Mr. Jorge, or Jorge Sales, as you guys might know him.
What's good? Jorge Sales. Just a little Mexican reseller or whatever. Trying to make it out the hood still.
Nice. How was your weekend?
It was good, honestly, like super chill. Didn't really do nothing crazy. I've honestly been kicking back lately, trying to stay out the woodworks, just stacking up bread.
Nice, just working.
Yeah, working. I've been trying to get a little bit better on my working out. All my New Year's resolution was no more alcohol for the whole year, so I've been trying to stick to that.
Damn.
And managing all my other checks and balances in life.
How's the no alcohol going?
Man, if you know me, I love to have a good time. So it's been a little bit harder on some days because the homies still be turning up here and there, but it's all good, bro. It's all a mental thing. You get what you want to get in life.
Nice. How was yours, Andy?
Low key, kind of chill. What did I do? I just worked out, literally, same thing. Fucking packed and shipped my stuff. Did some designs. That's it, bro. That's it's just like a program now where I'm just maybe my girl's like, yo, let's do it. I'm like, I'm just so laser focused on the mission that we got that I'm just like, all right, bro, this is what I'm doing every day.
Consistency.
Yeah, literally, that's what it is, bro. What about you?
What I do this weekend? I worked. I worked out. What else? I did nothing. I had a crazy idea last night that I called you about.
Yeah.
Literally
Blew my
so random.
mind,
I
bro.
was
Blew
like,
my mind.
talk about that later.
God willing.
But yeah, it was a chill weekend. I didn't do much. Literally same shit, different day. Low key pretty busy Friday and then Saturday as well. And we've been getting a steady supply of inventory, which is cool. But yeah, straight to it, George. How'd you get into shoes? What was your when'd you get in it just naturally besides reselling? When was your first oh shit, this is cool?
So my intro to everything in regards to sneakers was really based on number one, during high schoolish time for me. I obviously that's kind of when you start to kind of be a little bit more curious about what you're into, what you're interested in. And at that time, my brother-in-law, shout out to him, he was working at Undefeated actually.
Nice.
And so he was working at Undefeated, and truthfully, I really didn't care about every single release coming out. But the one thing that always caught my eye were the Nike SBs. And the Nike SBs were always a thing that always kind of caught my eye in general, because I would always I would be at the apartments that I grew up in North Hollywood, and hanging out with all the SB kids, people that were actually skating and shit, just kind of moving around, kicking it, not really doing much, just hanging around the our apartment complexes at the time. And so it kind of just evolved from there. It went from me just being interested in it, and that's when I started getting curious with with forum boards like Facebook, for example. That's where I really originated my actual what's coming out, what's releasing when, and that's when I started following all the complex, all the sneaker things that were coming out, and it kind of just gradually evolved. It's I look at it like a snowball effect. I went from damn, I'm trying to get these SBs. And I remember 6.0s, for example. Nobody really fucked with 6.0s like that. But I was damn, the 6.0s, they go on sale and I could get a little extra discount on them. And I'm going to buy them because, it's still a dope shoe to me. My homies don't know. My homies is wearing beat up Vans and, Converse and just regular shoes. Nobody really had anything to really be flexing on each other like that. And I was getting some shoes still for a pretty good bang for my buck. And buying them. And so it went from me buying that, I would buy one sneaker every couple months, 6 months. I wasn't balling out either, but I would buy that one sneaker, I would sell it, and then I would buy my next sneaker. And that kind of went on for my high school kind of you know, I had like maybe 3-4 pairs of sneakers during my high school thing, and that's just where I've evolved from. Like my first real Jordan that I bought, aside from SBs, because SBs is where I really originated from and like sparked my real interest, was the 11s actually, which I actually brought. So the thing about these is that I didn't even buy the Concords. I didn't even buy Concords. Shout out to my homie Chris. My homie Chris, I bought Bread 11s with my Christmas money. I had like $50 plus I got an extra like 200. So like these shits are smoked. But my homie Chris, shout out to Chris, we're still homies. Like I met him through Facebook, and to this day, like we're still homies. I traded him my Bread 11s. He added $20 plus these Concords, and these Concords, bruh, like I spent so much time on YouTube, how to take care of patent leather, how to like clean them, how to ice soles. Like if you had Concords, you know that they got like some like yellowing at the soles and all that type of shit. Like you know, and it just gradually evolved from there. And I didn't really like cash out on shoes for myself either. Like, you know, I was still figuring out what I wanted to do even during high school, and even after high school, truthfully, like I still wasn't really buying any sneakers to like resell or anything. Like I would still buy clothes. Like it was when the hundreds and diamonds and all that was super popular, bro. Like, you know, little Mexican kid from the valley, everybody's buying their, you know, diamond supply and buying their hundreds. And that's where just it really originated, honestly, like just kind of trying to figure out what really interested me and what really fit with like my narrative of what I wanted to like, you know, portray myself as. Nice. And the reselling really didn't take off like, you know, for like reselling specifically, like it was just buying shit that I wanted.
Yeah, it was just like recycling. I think we all have that cycle of like how you said, like you buy something, you wear it, and you wear it heavy. Like in high school, you wear certain things heavy. Like one of my first purchases was the Old Spice Dunk for SBs.
Oh yeah.
And I got them on CCS for like $69.99 or something like that. Yeah. You order them through the website and they would come in, and you would trip out because these shoes you'd get the CCS mag, and then it would have good shit in there. Like it had taxis.
In hindsight.
Yeah, and they're just there. And then the ones that were there for a couple months, they would be like $49.99. So I remember I got the Old Spice and I was hyped. I think I camped out for the DGK Diamond collab with the little Peanuts kid on it. And then I remember I wore it with like light blue jeans, and I was just like, damn, I got to fit off. Like I was wearing the tee with the Old Spice. Where
DGK had the shit in a chokehold for a cool minute. I'm not gonna lie, like shout out to DGK.
Yeah, DGK was fairly big, like for us on Southeast LA. Like it was just like, it was a brand that was like, I would say it was hard to get on that side, and we didn't know where to get it because skate shops didn't have accounts for it or anything. You remember DGK, Andy?
I remember because I used to skate back then, and that was like the shit. I think I forgot who it was, but a lot of skaters would wear. Yeah. But even that, like I remember, we would get, what was it? It was a CCS, right? The magazines. Yeah. I would always look through them because we used to skate, and I remember me and my cousin would be like, oh, like this shit, but obviously I didn't have the fucking money. Yeah. But just seeing that and seeing, like, I've totally forgot about that. But seeing that was like low-key like Instagram. Like you go on a page now and you look through their catalog, but that's what it was. Like, what a time, bro. I remember that shit.
No, CCS had a lot of dope stuff where I was just like, oh shit, like Blazers. Obviously a lot of skateboarding, but for us, obviously being into sneakers, it was SBs only that we were looking at, and DGK stuff on that magazine.
Yeah, and I remember still like even like DCE shoes and shit like that, like the big ass bulky joints, like all that too still had like a cool impact on me, because I went from that to like the SBs. I feel like that kind of just like gradually, you know, you kind of like build a little bit of momentum, like damn, like this shit is dope, but this shit is dope, but damn, this shit is dope. And you kind of just
when did you start actually like officially being like, all right, whatever, I'm gonna start reselling? Even the first shoe you resold that you were kind of like, yo, I can actually make money off this.
All right, so this is actually kind of like a funny story, because I was working at the first job I've actually ever had, even to this day. I was working at Pizza Hut. I was going already to college. College, I was like struggling financially. I just had some like technicalities with some like financial aid stuff. just like not being born in the U.S. kind of complicates your like college situation just a little bit more, but it's not the end of the world. You know, you could figure it out if you really want to. But I got to the point where I was just so stressed out and fed up where I was like, I was actually at work and I was just like, damn, like this shit is not really going anywhere. I had $250. I walk up to my manager. I'm like, yo, I had been on Facebook and they were talking about, like, I was in a group chat with a couple homies. But shout out to Max. We're still homies to this day too. Been homies for like 10 years probably now. I was in a conversation with him in a group chat on Facebook, and there was gonna be an OVO 12 release, the Jordan 12s. There was gonna be a store opening at Foot Action in Glendale. And I hit him up and I was like, yo, bro, like, let's pull up. Fuck it. Like, you know, I actually, during my shift at work, I was like, yo, like, I'm leaving. I'm probably never going to come back. I quit. Yeah. And they were like, wait, what? Are you sure? And then I was like, yeah, like, this is not my vibe. It's just not what I want to do. And I just quit. I literally just walked out that day. Like, I'm pretty sure I grabbed some pizzas. Like, I would always grab some. I didn't grab some dinner. I was still like, you know, I still had that in mind for my day to day. Like, you know, I'm still gonna get my pizza. But I left that day, and literally the next morning, I find out that like I you know, something from PayPal hit my account. I'm at like 170. Don't even have enough money to buy the shoe. Okay. And to cut it short, put up a post on Facebook. I get a shoe sold before I even have the shoe. Yeah. Kind of like a pre-order type thing, man. My bad, but, you know, had to make it happen. You know, I was able to get the shoe. I end up with a size, like, I'm like, this is where I learned how brutal this shit was. Cause like, I'm thinking I'm good. I'm like top 10 in line. Easy. The next morning, I'm 50. I'm number 50 in line. I was like 50, 60 deep. I'm with my homie Max, you know, like we both like little kids, man. We're like, you're not little kids literally, but you know, there's bigger people. Yeah, exactly. There's bigger people in the world. Barlow's in line. Shout out to Barlow. Barlow's is cool. I fuck with Barlow's. Right, and so we're 50, 60 after being like top 10 in line. And I'm just like, damn. I end up buying the second to last shoe after waiting out there all night. And like, that's when I learned that, like, you know, people leave, people come. There's a bunch of logistics to, you know, waiting in line for sneakers. Yeah. And like, you know, you gotta like, that's when I learned networking is key too. Cause a lot of people tell me, even to this day, your network is your net worth. And that's one thing I don't want to like people to like underestimate. Like, you really, you know, like the people around you will make or break you. Yeah. And I implemented that heavily into what I was doing day to day, because after that day, I flipped 200 something bucks into like 600. Yeah. And I was like, what? I was working at Pizza Hut in 2 weeks. I would be chopping down all the pizzas as fast as hell next to like 3 ovens burning me and
still
shit.
Still got paid
like,
the same amount of money.
Bro, and I made my 2-week paycheck in one night of like, you know, being in the cold or whatever. It wasn't the end of the world, but it was cool. And then I was just like, damn, like, how could I keep doing this more consistently? Because I think I've heard, I forget on whose interview or podcast it was, but you mentioned something, Briss, you mentioned something about how like you hit a home run and like you hit the home run, but like you can't dwell on that. Like you got to use that home run to like fuel your next thing. And that's exactly like what I like looked at everything as moving forward. Cause when I hit that home run, I'm not thinking like, damn, I got $600 now, I'm gonna go buy 3 pairs of shoes for myself. Facts. I'm thinking, damn, like now I don't have to do the pre-order thing and like get someone wrong or like, you know, make them wait longer than I would have liked them to wait. Cause now I have $600. I could buy 2-3 pairs now with my own money and then figure out what I want to do.
Facts.
Yeah. And my bad. And I also think that's something good that like people can learn is that like he was saying, he's like Derek Jeter, you know, hit a couple bases, you know, get people on base, hit a home run, whatever, get a steal. But I think even with that story is like, you weren't like, I'm lit, now I can go buy a fucking YSL jeans. Like, you reinvested that money back into it. And even being in here, bro, like, I mean, I haven't said this, but the first time we went to New York and when we came back, that shit literally put the battery in my back where I was just like, yo, fuck all this, like trying to look cool and that's that. Like I'm reinvesting the money back into the business. So I feel like that's something like people can take away where you weren't like you were reinvesting back into the business, even though that was your first lick that you could have been like, oh, I'm lit now. So I feel like that's something important that a lot of people can take. You always have to reinvest back into the business to keep the cash flow going. Because if not, you're going to get caught up where it's like your lifestyle is going to catch up with your money and it's not going to probably add up the same way. You know?
Yeah, because I mean, I was around a lot of people too. Don't get me wrong. Like a lot of people that I know on social media now, like, you know, they were next to me in a lot of these lines. Like I did this, I did the line, like lining up and like finessing, trying to get into this little cranny and nick. And like, you know, I did that for a cool minute. I did that for at least, I don't even know, like maybe 5 years. I did a whole college degree in that, of like
Graduated.
lining up and finessing. Like I was in there, man. Like people know me that I would be over there doing the, you know, doing the dirty work. It wasn't all just like, you know, sometimes you would line up, you would be over there posted up, and then come to find out the next morning, people were acting rowdy. You just wasted 2 days of your life for nothing.
Yeah.
But then you would also have the people that you would be around, and you know, I'm not here to bash nobody, but you know, there were people that you would be around, and like, you know, there's like little cliques in between of everything.
Yeah.
And certain little cliques, like, you know, you have a certain influence on you that, you know, it makes that like impact on what your decision is from day to day, because you'll make, you know, $1,000 on one day, and you know, just because of the people you're around, you'll be like, damn, like this weekend, like, you know, let's go spend $800 at the club, doing this, doing that, and like just because of the people you're around, and you know the money's gonna come back because there's gonna be another release the next week or whatever. But I was always looking at it where like, you know, I need to empower myself in an aspect where I want to be able to do bigger things. So over the years, you know, one thing that I like to kind of remind myself on is the compound effect of things. So small things add up. You know, you do something small for 10 years, you know, it adds up. And, you know, you don't even need to speak up on what you're doing, or like, you know, your actions and what you're doing speaks for you. You don't need to like put it in people's faces like, hey, I got this much money, or hey, I got this much. Like, you know, like what you're doing should speak for yourself. Like it should speak the volume that it, like what you're doing, you know?
Yeah. Like just basically like the work of what you're doing. And like, where do you think you got that like discipline from, of just like going out hustling, staying those days, catching an L, and like not basically folding and just being like, all right, that's the game, and that's what I chose? Like, what was in you? Like, was that from when you were younger, or were you always like that, just like disciplined, like this is what I got to do and this is the objective?
Honestly, bro, I just grew up in a pretty humble manner. So I was just trying to get it. I was trying to make some bread. Like I was born in Mexico. I wasn't even born in this country. So, you know, if anyone wants to speak on anything, it's like, you know, I really came here trying to do something to like, you know, empower myself. Like after high school, you know, I still butted heads with my mom even after, when I was trying to figure out, like, you know, because I wasn't going to college no more. You know, I'm coming from a point where like, you know, if you're a college, you know, you graduate from college, that's where you're super successful, and that's where you're like, you know, doing the best for your life. And you know, and that went over my mom's head for a cool while, because she obviously always showed me love. But at the same time, like there was a cool while where it was just like, damn, like you're almost like a failure because you're not doing what you should be doing. You're doing something else. And like that, like fire in me just kind of grew bigger, because I was like, I'm not like, I need to like do this to like make sure I like can prove to my mom, like, you know, I'm not doing something just to like bullshit around or just like hang out with homies, or like, you know, because a lot of people get that perspective too when you're like going around trying to figure out what the next play is. Like, oh, you're just hanging out with your friends all day, like you're not doing anything, or like, you know, you come home and you're just like, damn, like, you know, like, I swear, mom, like I'm trying to make something happen, like just please wait. But it just doesn't communicate the same way. You know, my mom is Mexican. She's thinking, damn, like, you know, my son's not doing anything with his life. He's over here just chilling at home sometimes, or he's just on the weekends, he's gone for multiple days because God knows what he's doing. Because how do you explain to a Mexican mom, you waiting outside of a store for 2 days? Like, you can't. Yeah. Like, I'm waiting outside of a store for 2-3 days to buy some shoes at retail, to spend $200 on some Jordans. And it's just that point of view and that perspective that like being just like very humble growing up, being coming from a certain point in life where like you can only go up, you can't go further down. So it's just from the ground up, just trying to get to it.
Yeah, like going back to the reinvesting, and then we DC was just like, oh, like we hit a big sale yesterday, and instead of me being like, oh we're good, I was just like, all right, cool. This morning I was just like, reinvest. Like I was just like, put more shit into production, more hats. Even we're gonna do Twitch and all that stuff. So I was just like, how do I make this money move around for the company, not for myself?
Yeah.
So that was like a big thing. Literally, as soon as I saw that, I obviously checked like all the statements and all that stuff. I was just like, all right, how can I move this money around so then Syndicate could keep going on that steady incline? And like how you said, being consistent, and everything we're doing, I feel like it's small, but we keep small, jab, jab, jab. Ed at Riff always told me, like, same thing, kind of going to the Jeter thing. He was just like, we're a store that can jab all day. Like, we can jab and play defense all day.
Yeah.
And they're like, we have knockout power too, but I'd rather jab all day. So when he told me that years ago, like 10 plus years now, I was just like, yo, this man's right. Like, it does make sense. Like, it's cool. Like, we have knockout power, but then you also have like defense and jab power.
You have that ability to remain consistent with what you should be remaining consistent with.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's definitely something that maybe my generation, that like they don't comprehend that, like, it's cool to try a bunch of different things, but if you feel really passionate about something, like, who cares what the next person is doing? Like, one thing I like to remind myself also is comparison is the thief of joy.
It is.
And I'm not gonna lie, like, for a cool while, like, I held resentment because I would think like, damn, like, he's doing so much better because he has, a good foundation. He has like, people around him that are funding him, that are able to help him out. But like, I learned to like understand that, like, I want to be able to empower someone around me the same way, instead of like me being a hateful ass person towards the next person. Like, I'd rather be able to like help someone around me instead of being able to like be someone that's hating the next person because your homie's helping you.
Yeah.
Like, I learned to accept the fact that, I come from where I come from, and, it's all about just growing. Like, just who cares what the next person is doing? Appreciate what the next person is doing, but, focus on yourself and what you got going on, so you can, be on the same caliber if you want to get to the same caliber, because everything and anything is possible, literally.
No, yeah, I feel like sometimes I see that too, where I'm just like, I'm such a giving person, and then this year, I just see it, and I talk to myself when I'm driving and stuff like that, and I'm just like, yo, this year I kind of like shut off with like the super giving way, like I would say like taking care of people, and this year I've been more selfish, I would say, but selfish in a good way towards like even the company, where I'm literally laser focused on what I'm doing here. Like, I go home, I go to sleep, I wake up, I work out, so it's a whole routine that now I'm just so numb to it. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't even go, like, I feel uncomfortable sometimes, and it's probably a bad thing, but I feel uncomfortable like doing something that doesn't include work, or doesn't include working out or thinking about the business, etc. But now, like, once I stayed focused on this, I was just like, yo, like, this shit is working, like, I'm reinvesting. And even like my mom will tell me the same thing, because now at a young age, when I first got into it, what people don't know, I was fully supposed to be a sheriff. Like, fully a sheriff right after high school. I did the training. I did everything. I was killing it. I still remember the day where I was running their like run test or whatever's, and I remember the deputy like yelling from across the field, like, yo, like, you're 9 seconds away from the record, blah, blah, blah. So I started sprinting. I didn't end up breaking like the academy record or whatever, but something like that, just like not even knowing. So then when I finally was just like, you know what, fuck this process. I don't want to do this. My family wants me to do this.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm not going to do this no more. I was like, so I dropped the process. Like, I got through, I think, what test was it? The polygraph, which is like the lie detector test. Fuck. And I remember I was just like, I'm not going to do this. I must just go into sneakers. Yeah. But it wasn't like I went into it. I just kind of like followed, I don't want to say dream. I just followed stuff that I liked. Yeah. And I remember at the start, my mom was just like, and especially the 6-month process with Riff, where we weren't getting paid. Yeah, it's just like,
was it going on during the same time, like the
no, it was
sheriff
right
process
before.
with?
It was right before, but me giving that up, my mom was so against it because, again, my mom being a Mexican mom, and this industry is so new. Like your mom probably felt the same way. This industry is super new. Like corporations weren't into it. Like StockX wasn't around or nothing where they could back it and see that this is a good thing. Well, good thing.
Yeah.
But her always telling me like, yo, you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
Like you don't know what you're doing. Like sometimes you make some money, but then there's weeks where you don't make money. And I was just like, yo, like at that point, I didn't even know if it was gonna work out, but I just enjoyed what I was doing.
Exactly.
Where I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna just continue doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, and that's like a pretty big thing to not overlook because it takes that like ambition and want to do something to, you know, pursue something and go all in with nothing in return to expect. Like you're kind of going into something that you have no clue if it's gonna work.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you have no safety net. You know, there's not like a, you know, a union for shoe salesmen.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like we don't have a safety net. It's kind of just like going into it free ball and seeing what happens.
Yeah. With the brand, did you experience any of that?
Bro, every day. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I'm agreeing with it because like the same thing. My mom wanted to be a business accountant, so that's what I did. I went to school, I accrued a little bit of debt, and then I was just like, I don't want to do this. I was like, I said in a previous episode, like I interned for Root for free. I was using my gas for free, wasn't getting paid. My parents were like, what are you doing? You're not doing anything with your life. Look at your brother and your sister. They're all working. They're doing this. They're doing that. And then I think the main thing was like I didn't hear the cheering and I didn't hear the booing. Like I was just in my own head. Like I know this is gonna work. I know sometimes it's not gonna be good, but I know sometimes it is gonna be good. But I was willing to take that risk to where even now, you know, it's like the thing now, which is like she talks about me all the time. Oh, how's your business? Like happy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I don't hold. But I was like, you know what? I'd rather it be like that than years from now hold that resentment of like, I became a business accountant because of you and I don't even want to do this.
Yeah.
So I went through that. I think a lot of people go through that hard moment in life right now where your parents don't get it and they're just like, whatever. Then years from now, they're like, you resent them for doing something that they wanted you to do and you didn't even want to do yourself. And like what I'm hearing now, you know, obviously we all pretty much fucking work our faces off every day, I'm pretty sure. But for me, it doesn't feel like work. I just feel like this is what I do.
Like
I'm
day to day. Like
this is just
this
my
is what
life.
I have to do for today.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I feel like we all made these decisions because I see now, like, if I made the decisions that, you know, other people were making in that current situation, I'm like, that shit is not like, it's not sustainable anymore. Like doing these corporate jobs and this and that I'm glad I made that decision. I made that jump to make my own brand, to work for Syndicate, Round 2, all that, because now I'm not a one trick pony. Like I can do everything, you know, rather than just being like in one spot.
Yeah. So like I always had people meet me for breakfast in New York with like, they're younger, like 20, 21, 22, like that age. And they would always tell me, because for some reason they would view me and be like, yo, like you're a super successful guy. And I'm just like, I don't really think I'm successful at all. Like, I think I'm doing something well, but just because what you see on Instagram doesn't portray that I'm over here sweating, cleaning, doing everything that I have to do. So my advice to like the kid coming into this industry or like any like work ethic that you do, anything that you like, fashion, even if you're going to school and stuff like that, is like, I feel like this is a perfect mistake for me, according to like my parents. This is like, they would probably thought like, oh, you're making a mistake. But I was just like, I mean, I don't know if I did, I didn't. I wouldn't know that till later down the line. Yeah. But my advice to them would always be like, yo, like you're young, so you could make these mistakes or like you could venture off into this. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Just move on to the next. And I feel like it's better to take those leaps when you're young, because I feel like now I have to be so like account for every step that I'm going to do, because I'm 31 now. Mm-hmm. So at 31, if I fuck up, I have a mortgage.
You're still young, bro.
But I feel like I have a mortgage. I have so much responsibility now that at 21, 22, I didn't have the
liability
freedom.
wasn't there. Yeah,
exactly. So like, we got to know you a little bit. So then now the next step, we're going to take a little break. We're going to talk about your reselling career that you've been doing really well with.
All right.
Cool. We're back. A little water break.
Yo.
So we got to know George, his uprising and everything. So what was like? I want to ask like, what was your bet? Like your.
Wait. Are we gonna do a fit check?
Oh yeah, let's do a fit check. All right.
My bad to cut you off. Oh, give him a little mic. So you got the mic, so you can say everything you're wearing.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna start from the bottom.
Bottom.
Bottom. All right, bet. So on the feet, he got the Super Saiyan Pandas, aka Supreme Dunks.
Yes, sir.
Then he got the Chromie socks, very nice. He got the fucking awesome shorts.
FA.
And then the top piece, you got the Anti-Hero Supreme jersey, and then under it, can't forget under, you got the Chrome Hearts thermal. Nice touch. And then the Chromie hat, and then some jewelry. Yes, sir.
Solid fit.
Good fit.
Solid fit. Yo, shout out FA. FA's been doing really good lately.
Yeah.
Nah, they make good
Like
shit.
they've been doing like really good cardigans, really good jackets, hoodies, pants. Like
Their
I've seen.
flannels are fire.
Yeah, they've been doing really good because I just remember the fucking awesome logo and obviously it's a skate brand, but then now I feel like they're really getting into like their like cut and sew and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
shout out to them.
Super
All right, go
good
ahead,
quality
King. You're not
product.
gonna
Where,
go? You're fit? Where? Where are we going? All right, Briz, solid. Yeah, how he does it. Go ahead.
All right, so Chris, calm fit today. Got the Stussy Berkeys, the white jaunts, a little character on them. Then his smoked LV Dickies, gang of character, no cap.
Homie got
Then the
money.
top, you got the Celine fleece, very nice.
Very nice.
And the smoked Iron Maiden tee, his favorite tee. And then classic store credit hat.
The original.
It's
The OG.
original one.
Oh, he got the OG.
one that people didn't care
One with
about.
the LA in the back, so low key.
All right, next.
Let's get it.
Andy with the Freshie Stussy 2013s, the Fossil Jaunts. Super sweet. And then 1213 overpant in the olive. Little vintage tee. 1213 flannel. 1213 hat. And super calm, straight to the point. He made
Fire.
everything, bro. Can't be mad at that.
Forgot the jewelry. The jewelry.
And the jewelry.
This is the invest in myself fit.
Yeah. And even with that, like, bro, I remember on the bar listing, I didn't really touch on it, but I'm gonna touch on it now. I obviously, I have a little Rolex on. I just think, for me, that's like a trophy for myself. Because I remember being younger, me and my brother, we would look at, Tupac and be like, damn, this guy Rolex. And I never in my wildest dreams, bro. So it's just like, that's just like a little trophy for me. Like, you can do it, bro. Like, anything is possible. Like, bro, I literally in my entire life never thought I'd be able to do that. So
Facts.
like every now and then I throw it on, I look at it and I'm like, you can fucking do it, bro. You can go to the next one, the next one, the next one.
Yeah.
So have these little goals for yourself, Yeah, I seen that too,
Bro,
So it's
same
like,
thing. It's like
and-
it's not the best watch in the world, but it's
But,
my watch, and
yeah.
I'm
It's like
proud
the-
of this shit.
it's like the
Accomplishment.
the
reward.
accomplishment, and it's a conversation piece. People be like, oh, you like that, boom, 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 and then But yeah,
No, yeah, it's
touch on
always
that.
good to reward yourself when you're working really hard because I
Yeah.
feel like if you never do that, then you're never gonna see like. I would say it almost helps the progress.
Yeah.
Like if you're killing it, like let's say you're working months and months, like I'm pretty sure with you, like days and nights.
Yeah.
And then if
nonstop.
you don't buy yourself something nice here and there, it almost feels like it's almost just like a mental game with your head where you're
Yeah.
just like,
why the fuck am I doing
why
this?
am I doing
Yeah.
this? But then if you get a little thing in here where you're still being smart with your money, it almost makes it feel a little worth it.
Yeah, like it got like when I bought this, I was like, oh, it's not the most expensive Rolex. Like I'm pretty sure it wasn't even new when I bought it.
Yeah.
But the thing about it, cut that. The thing about it was that like I bought it for myself. It's
Yeah.
like you don't get like first prize like trophies for doing what we do. Like
Exactly.
we're, like this is our trophy. This is our thing to remind ourselves of like a tangible good that we're able to like put it on if we want to whenever we want to.
Yeah.
because
And,
it's
like,
ours.
And also, don't buy it if you're gonna like to impress somebody else. Like I literally bought this for me. Like I'll wear this in the crib, and just like even when I'm sewing, packing orders, or even like I'm thinking like, bro, like this is like the trophy. Like look down at that. Keep going. Keep pushing. Keep this.
Like this
you know?
is the reason why I'm even able to have this because I have
it's
to get this work done.
It's just something personal. It's not to like flex on everybody, but yeah. Anyways, go on with the question, Bruce. That you were gonna ask me something.
No. So, what was your what was the first time that you were like, all right, cool. Like obviously you started your first flip, but then what was the first time where you could become, where you thought like, oh shit, I'm becoming Jorge Sales. Like that was like your.
I would say that kind of took a bigger like perspective to me, or like a bigger like meaning to me in general, was when I had like friends kind of asking me like, hey, could you help me sell this? Or like, yo, bro, like I got this, like maybe we can make some money together. And like when people started asking me in that aspect, where like I didn't even have to pay outright for something, and they were asking me for my help to get rid of something because they saw that I would be like, you know, trying to hustle and get product out and post stuff up, and I was active within the same community, like the sneaker community on like Facebook, or like just using whatever I could, whatever platform I could to like sell stuff. Like, so when it got to the point where it was friends asking me, or like homies of homies asking me like, hey, like, do you want to buy this, or do you want to like post this for me maybe, and like, you know, maybe you can sell it for what I wanted to sell it for, and like you kind of kick back like some bread for yourself if you can make it happen. And once that started kind of like getting the ball rolling on like that aspect, it's almost like consignment in a sense. Without it being consignment, it was more of like helping a homie out, because there's a lot of times where, you know, you don't really do something to make money out of it. Like I helped plenty of homies make money, and I didn't expect them to pay me a dime. Like it was just me selflessly doing something because I know that that's like what I was doing. Like I was selling sneakers, so I'm gonna sell some sneakers without necessarily like, damn, like I have to make a bunch of money off of every single person. Like that wasn't my goal. It was my goal was literally just to like build that platform and like get my, like, you know, who I am out there and build my reputation, because reputation is literally everything and anything for this like aspect. Like what Barlos was talking about, like Nike fiending or whatever. Like, you know, once you lose your reputation, like you might have ran off with however much money you might have ran off with, but what are you about to do the next day?
Yeah. Now I feel like in this industry, your name and your word is gold. Like some people will, like, let's say you fuck somebody over once, all it takes is for them like, oh, he's bad business. Because it happens sometimes where like people will reach out to me to work with them, and then somebody will be like, yo, like I'm gonna just tell you the situation. But to me, it's just like, that doesn't change my opinion on that person, but just the fact that this person already has doubt in this other person, then I'm just like, what do other people think about? And then I'm just like, that guy lost his word to that side of the community. And I feel like if once you get one person talking negative about you, it starts like a spill of more and more and more.
And I mean, you'll be able to like really, really know who's about their business or not very quickly, I feel like, within the same community that we're in. Because, you know, you ask one person, if like a specific person tells you something about someone, like you're really gonna be like, nah, I'm good. Like I'm not dealing with that then. Like, because you already know that the other person you know you guys do good business on. Like, you know, so you're not gonna even second question. Like, you know, you're not gonna give that another judgment. Like, all right, cool. Like I'm off it. Like I'm not even gonna deal with none of that drama, none of this like bad business. And I think that that's one thing that like definitely should be applied to like a lot of things. Like, you know, just be mindful of who you do business with, because who you do business with will impact what you're doing day to day 100%.
Yeah. And I even think like, even with that, I remember when you first hit me up on Instagram, you're like, yo, let me get some hats, And I was like, what the fuck, who's this? And then I look and I'm like, oh, he's a reseller.
Buy some hats. I was trying.
But buy some hats. It's even better, you know? But, and then I seen David was following you. So same thing. I hit up David. I'm like, yo, who's this? And like, you know, if anybody knows David, like he's about his business and he's very like correct. He's not a slimy guy or anything. And hey, shout out David. He's the reason why.
Shout out to David, honestly. Yeah.
He's the reason why I say no sir, yes sir.
Yeah, shout out to David and Jackie.
He said that shit to me one time, and I was like, "Sir." So I just kept saying, "Anyways." But even when, But even when David was like, "No, he's good people," like we're like off rip, like that made me like, "All right, if David said it, like it's valid." And then even from there, bro, like, you know, you actually came. One of your homies picked up the hats, and I was like, "Damn, that's sick."
Think about it being homie right here.
Yeah, shout out to bro. But you know, like it's that reputation, you know, that you build with people that shit sticks, and you never know when you're gonna have to use it or when someone's gonna like applaud you behind the scenes that you never even know that you would have gotten.
Honestly, the word of mouth from you doing good business takes you to like places that you're not even involved in.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of people that that I've talked to that I've never met, but I'm able to have a conversation with them with a level of respect, like a tone of respect, because they understand and they comprehend that, you know, I'm not like here trying to waste anybody's time or like get over on someone. Like I've never been here to just make a quick buck on someone. Like I'm here to, like, you know, if we're going to do business, we're going to do business. Like we're not going to just like be one off and I'm going to just finesse you on one thing and then we're done. We're never going to see each other again.
Yeah. Because I feel like that shit will come back and like bite you in the ass. Because I've seen that happen so many times, even with me doing shit behind the scenes. Like, for me, I don't care, bro. Like, I'm just like, people have gotten over me many times. And I'm just like, that shit's not going to do anything for me if I do something back. So I always leave on a clean slate. And, you know, one day or another, they always come back and be like, yo, blah, blah, blah. So, you know.
Yeah.
That happened with one of my homies with you, with Martin. Martin hit me up once and he was just like, yo, is this guy good? And I was just like, I literally said best reseller in LA. And then like he buys shoes from you like pretty frequent.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, Martin feels terrible too. I'm gonna keep it. We're gonna do it on the podcast. He was like, bro, I feel so bad because I can't drive out to the store as much as I would like. But like then I see you post something, I'm like, damn, like I have to buy it.
No, he tried to explain it to me and I was just like, bro, I don't care. Like I literally was just like, it's supply and demand. And then one thing that he tells me is just like, bro, that's just crazy. Next day, I got the shoe, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, yo, he's good.
Yeah.
But it was like same thing. Like he hit me up and he was just like, yo, is this guy good? And I was just like, yes, bro, like 100%. And then last time I saw him was like 2 weeks ago for the Giants. Who the fuck they play in the playoffs and they won? I don't know. The game that the Giants won, the playoff game. I don't know. But we were talking and he was just like, yeah, I wish I could come to the store more, but I'm working. And we get it, you know, he kills it at his job and stuff like that. And he spends money on himself. He rewards himself for working really hard. But it's just word of mouth where he's just like, yo, George is good, blah, blah, blah. And then even people that hit me up and they're like, yeah, really easy to deal with. And he literally always tells me like, yo, this is my plug now. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, no, that's one thing, bro. Like it all comes down to the same compound interest thing. Like if you do good business here, your good business will, you know, you multiply it. Like, you know, 1, 1, 1, 1, and then that 4 times 4 times 8, 8 times 8. Like, you know, before you know it, you're like, damn, like, oh shit, like what's going on? There's a lot of people, you know, rocking with me because, you know, everybody has to go through that like awkward, like hard phase to break out of where you're contemplating, is this the right thing for me? Like, do I want to do this? Like, why is this person doing so much better? Like back to the comparison thing, like why is this person doing so much better? Like how come I'm not doing that?
Yeah.
Like and once you kind of break out of that and kind of like just focusing on yourself, like you're like, damn, like all right, cool, like I just need to keep my head down and just grind.
Yeah. And even stuff like that where, you know, obviously you resell, we resell, and there's never that like, nah, come fuck with us, don't fuck with him. So segueing into that, how come did you ever think like I want to open up a store, or you're just kind of like you liked what you're doing right now and that's like what works best for you?
So realistically speaking, it all comes down to like the aspect of not trying to go over my head on what I was doing, because I appreciated my process personally. So I was like, you know, this is what I want to do. I want to keep stacking bread. I'm like, I have enough momentum with what I'm doing, and like my platform, you know, shout out to everyone that you know rocks with me and everything. Like without you guys, there'd be nothing here to show today. But having that platform enabled me enough to stay busy, to, you know, do what I needed to do, and, you know, keep my momentum going as much as I needed it to. Like I didn't necessarily need to add anything else to like my recipe, even though like, you know, people, you know, are doing their own stores or doing this thing or the next thing. Like, you know, I have like a certain vision with what I needed to do and with what I wanted to do, to where like I didn't want to distract myself and like get into something before I needed to get into something, because then, you know, you have those situations now where a lot of stuff unfolds. There's multiple situations in the past where, you know, stuff crumbles and, you know, business is business, shit happens. But I just wanted to make sure like I'm involved in this in a certain manner where I'm able to like maintain my image and maintain my role in like my business as strongly as I wanted it to, without having to like have like an extra stress in my life for the time being, you know, but new stuff is coming soon. I'm not saying I'm not saying it's not happening, but it just hasn't happened for the time being, just for that same reason.
No, yeah, I feel like you said, you build a platform for yourself where like you have your clientele, and even like I think we all have the same clientele, but like slightly different. Some are a little bit more loyal to the other, but everybody understands like, yo, it's again, it's supply and demand. And like I said, like bringing you on here, it's just like now you got to be on our platform. But same thing, you coming on here, it's like we come on your platform. Yeah. So it's all like I always said, it's this ecosystem can continue just keep twirling and twirling and twirling, where it's just there's enough for everybody to go around, and especially if you use it with respect. Like when people come in here, sometimes we're their first stop in LA, and they're like, "Oh, where else can I go?" I'm like, "Go to Riff LA. If you don't want to go there, or if you want to stop there, you don't find anything, then go to Melrose. Melrose is a little sketchy right now." But we always tell them, like, we explain every situation, and we're like, "Yo, if you can make the drive out, go to Breakout in Long Beach. It's a little further. If you're staying by Anaheim, Riff LA has a store over there too." So I feel like we never hate on anybody, and people sometimes trip out on how like we're welcoming to our competition. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, we're still competition, but I don't really see it that way at all. I just see it as like another option. It's just like there's Foot Lockers, there's Champs. Well, now in the resale world, there's us, Cool Kicks, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly. Like there's always enough for everybody to be happy with. Like you don't have to be, you know, like I think the thing that I like try to maintain myself on is like not being a hater. Like like, you know, what do you gain from like being a hater all the time? Yeah. Like you just bring your energy down to for what reason? Yeah. What do you gain out of, you know, being like, oh, nah, I can't fuck with them. Like they're done. Like, you know, it is what it is. Like, you know, they're doing their thing. You don't know what they got going on. Like it's cool.
Yeah. And then with your platform, one thing I've noticed with you is now if you build it up to where you're at right now, which is like really, to me, I always say like, yo, this kid is fucking impressive. Like, like you posting all the lobsters, all the, like you posted that as a joke. They're like, damn, they sent me the wrong Travis Scotts and stuff like that. Like, obviously I don't want to get into it because obviously that's your business, but it's like, did you ever think you were going to get to that point where you're getting 60, 70 pairs of a shoe? Like how, like, do you ever like take this picture and you're like, oh shit, like I really did that?
Hell yeah, because they take like an hour and a half to set up sometimes, like an hour, a cool hour. Yeah. Like once you hit the 100 pair mark, you're like, damn. But honestly, the biggest like self-realization that I had, it really it was like what do they call, like epiphanies? Yeah. Like last year, I was like, damn, like how crazy is it that I was looking at like my bank statements from like 2014, 2015, right when I was getting out of high school. To age myself, I'm 25 now, 26 actually now. And I was looking at my bank statements, like having like $200 in my account, $150 in my account. And like now it's like, you know, I look back at it and I'm putting down all these shoes and I'm just like, damn, like this is really all a blessing. Like, you know, the compound effect of like being head down, not worrying about what the next man is doing or doing with whoever, or turning up here, doing this or doing that. Like, you're not worrying about all these outside noises and just keeping my head down and, you know, focused on what I got going on. Like, you come to like buying 100 shoes of something that's worth, you know, a good amount of money, and you're just like, damn, like this is a blessing. Like, you know, I've been working for this. Like, this is dope. Like, this is dope as hell, because you're not, I think you had mentioned it, like how we help the economy, you know, like we put so much money out, you know, we obviously, you know, we're making some money too in the process, but, you know, we're putting a lot of money out and we're helping a lot of people in that process. It's not just like a one-sided thing, you know, it goes both ways.
Yeah. And I even think with that, like, even what you were saying before, like, you didn't overextend yourself with stuff like open up a store and all that. That would have gave you more overhead. You would have probably had to charge more on the shoe because now you have to pay for this and that. To where now, you know, like you're saying, like you look back at it and you're like, shit, you know, like I've come a long way, and this shit, it proves it, because now you got a community that fucks with you. You take care of them, they take care of you. And you don't gotta like be sneaky. You don't gotta slide because you're like, fuck, I need to make more money. So I think it's good. Like, people gotta learn that. Like, don't overextend yourself if you don't have to do it. Like,
exactly. Don't over leverage yourself.
Yeah, like it doesn't mean like you're too comfortable. Blah blah blah. Because like you see now, like shit's happening and people are getting fucked over left and right. but because of somebody else's mistake. So
Yeah.
like I congratulate you on that
Thank
you
you.
didn't fucking overextend yourself and fucked a whole bunch of people over. Like you stayed true to yourself, to the business, and you know, I feel like the universe is rewarding you for that, you know?
Yeah, no, thank you. And honestly, like everything hasn't been perfect either along
Yeah.
the way. Like, you know, everybody has their like hiccups and stuff along the way, like business wise. Like there was a situation where like USPS had some like internal theft situation, and I had, you know, I shipped out strictly with USPS at the time.
Yeah.
And I dropped off like 10, 15 boxes, and 10 of the boxes go missing, and I'm tripping out because first one person asked me like, hey, what's going on with this? And then another person, I'm just thinking like, what are the odds that 2 boxes go missing, and then 3 boxes, and then 4 boxes, and then 5 boxes, and then 10 boxes? And I'm over here like, damn, like, you know, these are all people that, you know, trusted me to make a purchase.
Yeah.
So that liability comes down on me to figure it out what's going on without them having to worry about their purchase. Like, it's not their fault that something got stolen by someone else. So just being able to resolve those issues, like, quickly and like with a form of like mutual respect with someone, like, hey, like, you know, like I appreciate you for like coming to buy something from my business.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make it right for you. I'm not gonna give you the short end of the stick, because at the end of the day, you still came up to me and you trusted my business and me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you came up to me and you gave me your money, your hard-earned money. You never know what people, you know, got going on. People work, like, you know, people work for their money. It doesn't just grow on trees.
No, yeah, like it's saying with that communication and stuff like that, like you were one of the first people to kind of bring to light about like consignment stores owing people money and stuff like that. Obviously not trying to get too deep into it, but what we were talking about it right before you jumped on the pod, how like communication is key, like about like this person could be like, hey, like, or even they could send out mass email like, hey, we're getting through this, blah, blah, blah. But you communicating with your clientele, that just shows like, that's almost like words of advice to these, like, I would say stores and stuff like that, where like if they communicate with the person that you have their shoes and their money, they would understand it. Cause I'm pretty sure you had people that were really patient with you.
Yeah, for sure. There was a certain individual that literally wouldn't even take a refund. He was like, nah, bro, like, it's all good. Like, wait for you to get like your insurance thing. And then the insurance thing never even came through. But at least like I had like a little bit of extra room to like, you know, get more money together and pay everybody off. But the consignment thing, like, the one thing about that I definitely want to add is just like, you know, it all comes down to like respecting an individual and respecting someone like, not even like business wise or anything, like, you know, someone's working for the items that they're dropping off at a consignment store. You know, nobody gets a sneaker for free.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's sneakers that go much more than retail, even, for example, you know, so you're already paying resale to try to make like a marginal percentage of something. And then for that to get turned around, and then you get the short end of the stick and you don't get anything in return, and you actually lost like the whole bag. Like, you know, how crazy is that you didn't even respect someone enough to like let them know like, hey, we're going through something right now, or hey, like, we're going to make your situation right because, you know, we respect you as a person, not even like business wise. Like, you know, you trusted our vision. Like, let's show some mutual respect back towards you. But, you know, at the end of the day, it all comes down to what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, what level of like respect you want to hold yourself to, because everything and anything is solvable. Everything has a solution. It's not the end of the world. Yeah. You might make a bag, you might lose a bag, but, you know, at the end of the day, like, you can keep on pushing and it's always going to come back. But if you put out that negative energy, what are you gonna expect? You feel me? Like, you could only go so far.
Yeah, and it goes back to like this person. You never know. Like how you said, you were camping out multiple nights. Like, this guy's probably thinking like, damn, I camped out this much for this shoe. If they paid retail, or I paid this much, thinking like, yo, this store's gonna take care of me. And now they either don't want to pay me out, don't have my shoe, they used my money, etc., and stuff like that. And like you said, going back to what I said in the last episode, we're giving it straight to the person. It's like, I'm not hitting up Nike and being like, yo, can you wholesale me all these shoes and let me tax on them? It's just like, no, like, let's say you bring me a pair of lobsters and I give you 400, we're putting them at 5 or 525. But then at the end of the day, I'm not making the 125. I'm making maybe like $60 on that because I have employees to pay. I have overhead. There's so much stuff that goes on. And then there's so much hate towards resale stores right now that some people, like, something like let's say if I pay attention to all this stuff, I could be like, fuck, like is it me? But then in reality it's not, because I feel like I'm building something here where it's different. Obviously we don't do consignment, we're buy, sell, trade, and we're very upfront with the customer about like being communicative. Like they could come in with Panda Dunks and I could just be like, now we're passing. And they're going to be like, what the fuck? So they're going to, if I just give them that, they leave and they're like, oh, they just straight up passed. I drove from fucking who knows what, and we're not the easiest store to get to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, the one thing about that too, that like with an unbiased point of view, is that being able to communicate and not just having someone at like the counter that's just like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you have a list, like buy this, don't buy this. If you have someone just saying like, oh no, say no to this, like it shuts off anything. It shuts off any sort of like connection with that individual. Because the same thing happens with me. Like someone DMs me, sends me a list of like 15 shoes. I might tell them like, hey bro, like my bad, but like I personally don't buy any like worn stuff.
Yeah.
So like I'll hit him up, I'll hit him back. I'll be like, yo, like, you know, so and so, this and this, like I'll take, but the other stuff I just personally don't do any worn stuff. You know, maybe we can make something work. And sometimes they'll be like, all right, cool. Sometimes they'll be like, no, I'm trying to just get rid of everything. Like, all right, cool, bro, my bad. Like, you know, but I just don't do the worn stuff. I appreciate it though.
Yeah.
Like it just all comes down to like being able to communicate in a certain manner to where, you know, maybe that person will come back. And then they'll come back and they'll have like all worn stuff for me the next time they come and conversate with me, because they already established with them like, hey, I'm not gonna buy any of the worn stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I even think like a prime example of that is it was in the YouTube where someone came and he was just like, oh, we don't take this, but you can try over here, or you can try on Grilled or Goat, whatever he said. You know, if you want to wait, it'll probably sell there, but personally here we're not taking stuff like that. Da 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 da. And then even that, the guy was like, okay, cool, bet, bro, thank you. Walked away. And then Briss was like, that's how you pass on a shoe. Not pass.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like, it's that extra step, that I feel like, you know, a lot of people don't take into consideration that guy, just because you said that, he's like, fuck that, so I'm not coming back. But the fact that you gave him a whole explanation, he's like, well, fuck it, I got other shit that I want to come sell. But it's just like, you never know what people are like, that one thing can make them pass, or that one thing can make them be like, you know what, I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna go do this. And even with like other stores, like you never know. Like I think the good thing about you guys is like, if something happens, you know, and even with me, like I know it's my fault. I'm not like, oh, my manager, like I'm like, it's my fault.
Yeah.
Like I'm the owner, I have to take care of it. I have to make sure the business is going. And then I feel like with you guys, you know, like I got to make this right because I'm the business, you know? So I feel like that's where your guys' leverage is up, because, you know, I want to buy it, but I got to report to this dude and he says I can't. So it's like, I feel like in a way that's your guys' leverage. And even for myself, it's like we make the decisions and people are talking to like the boss directly, basically, you know?
Like you're able to make an executive decision on like any of your clothing options or any of like, you know, like, all right, let's put this into production. Let's cut that out. Like, and that gives you, you know, that's like a beautiful feeling, honestly. Like you feel good at the end of the day, because even if it doesn't go exactly like how you planned, like you still were able to make that decision consciously with your own will and power to be able to be like, hey, like this is what I think is going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
No, yeah, like one thing that people talk about resellers, they're always like, oh, you guys are always finessing people. And I was just like, no, in here, I actually tell you, keep the shoes sometimes. I'll literally tell you, I'm like, hey, just letting you know, these are a little low. I don't know, I'll make you an offer, but I highly suggest keep the shoe, let the market go back up. Yeah. January is the worst time to sell shoes. Yeah. Everybody knows that.
For sure.
So people come in with like off-white 5s, off-white 4s, anything off-white. It's just like, bro, you could get this much money if you just hold it till the summer or to Christmas. But if you need the money, I'm going to make you an offer. But just like, for example, let's just say I give you $350 for a shoe and I know I can hold it. I'm not going to hold it. I'm just going to put it for $425, $450 right out. Boom, make a quick $100.
Get it gone.
Get it going. Somebody's going to be hyped because like, yo, the shoe's worth $600, but they put it for $450.
Yep.
I don't think in here we've ever finessed anybody at Syndicate where we're just like, oh, let's hold this shoe forever.
Yeah.
Like, it's never our goal. It's never our mission statement. But yeah, little break and we'll get back to it.
Resellers, take 3.
Yes,
Cool.
sir.
We're back.
Let's get into the shoes now.
Let's get into the shoes. So
Good shit.
it's sick to you say that you couldn't afford the OVO and you pre-sold it.
Yeah.
But then now I'm just looking down here and I see some of like I would say some of the rarest shoes, rarest Kobe's. So can you talk about those and what you paid for them and what are you gonna do with them or any plans and stuff like that?
All right, so for example, I just brought a couple Kobe's. These honestly are like a super soft spot to me as far as like rare shoes go, because coming up, I always idolized the Jordan 4.
Yeah.
The Jordan 4 undefeated was like the
holy grail.
shit for me. Like, damn, if you have those, like you're doing something with yourself.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I'm seeing that shoe was like it was a $5,000-$6,000 shoe at one point. And I was just always so amazed by the fact that like, undefeated and Jordan have this colorway and they have this shoe and like the whole raffle that they did for it. Like that was damn near one of the first raffles that I could personally ever like even remember anything about. I wasn't a part of it, but
Yeah.
I recall that. So
Yeah.
we have the Proto one.
Jeez.
It's like, it has that undefeated 4 colorway material. It comes with a bunch of detachable tongue tags, which was also featured on the 4, if you know about the 4s. Has 24 under there. And we come around to the 4. Just the same colorway, just buttery, fire as hell. Reminds me of that nostalgic 4 grail, untouchable, unattainable feeling. And keep it light, another pair. Just you gotta double up. If you can't buy it twice, don't buy it.
Yeah, facts.
But here's another special one. I personally don't feel too crazy about these, but the market does what the market wants to do, and I don't even think there's a single pair listed on StockX of these. So
Shit.
don't quote me on this, but this might be the only size 11 available anywhere.
Fuck. And what was the reason of you like? I'm pretty sure you could have bought any shoe. Well, why did you bring these in particular?
I brought these truthfully because number one, the Kobe, like Kobe's Kobe. Like I grew up watching the Lakers. I love Kobe. I love like how he was as a human from the outside in. I didn't know him personally, obviously, but we're watching him. We get to see the persona of who he was, and that always transpired with me because it's like he said, like job finished.
Yeah.
Job not done.
Job not done. It's not done. Like you wake up the next morning, you got to get to it again. Like it's not done just because you say it's done.
Yeah.
But for like example, like we have all this.
Let's see.
But then I also brought like a pair of MF Dooms that I had in like 2014, 2013, and they're smoked. But for example, like just to keep it into perspective, like I bought these for like $180, brand new. You look at these brand new now, they're going for 3 bands, 2,500. So just like relatively speaking, these Kobe's, they're worth a couple $1,000s, but I'm either gonna sell a few of them right now, or I know I can hold on to them because they're gonna be unattainable. They already are.
Yeah.
But the longer you kind of go, it's kind of like fine wine. The longer you kind of keep something on ice, like very intricate items, when something is in a you get kind of a feel for what's gonna be worth keeping around after a certain amount of years of being involved with it. You kind of get like the general idea, like hey, like. This is like, you could kind of kick back, like, kick it to the corner, like fragment ones, like fragment ones, for example, they're at what, 335, 4K now. And how much were they when they came out? Like a rack, like 1,200. Yeah. Like,
yeah. So these are some good stories, but not everything's smooth sailing. Do you talk about like, I don't want to say loss, or maybe loss, or was there a time where you're like, fuck, I'm about to lose all this bread, but then you like stayed consistent in how you said you waited and you broke even or something like that? Like, is there any shoes that you invested on that you were just like, oh fuck?
There was a specific time when what was it? It was honestly when I first was starting to stack up my bread, and I forget what Jordan 4 it was, but it was a great school, and bruh, they were like sitting at retail, like not doing anything for a cool minute. I was I was like stressed out. I'm not gonna lie, because I didn't have any money to move around with or do anything with. Well, I forget what for it was. It was like 3-4 years ago. But the thing that I took away from that was like patience is key, because I could have always sold them and like taken like a $20 hit times like 50 or like 40, you know, so lost like 800, $1,000. But that kind of taught me 2 lessons in one, because it taught me like, number one, patience is key. Cause then they like, when they went up like $100 within like a week. But the thing about it was that like I missed out on other opportunities. So it taught me also the lesson of like, you know, cut your losses when you need to, if you need to, like, you know, who cares? Like, you know, you got to take losses in order to like keep going. But I mean, another story that I can think of is like, you know, when the block was popping on Melrose, I think I was walking from like Supreme maybe to like Bait or something. Some kid was walking around with like a box of Yeezys, and I was like, oh shit, like what do you have? It was like some 350s, and I remember I hit him up and he was like trying to sell them. I was like, oh, like, you know, like I checked them out and everything was good. And then I was like, oh, but I need to grab cash from the ATM. And he pulls up, and when he pulls up the second time, I ignorantly didn't look again at the shoe. He had swapped them for another Yeezy, and I'm thinking like, oh damn, like, you know, I came up in my head, and me being greedy and selfish, like I was like, you know, oh cool, went about my day. I had followed him on Instagram. I checked my Instagram, bro, blocked me. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah. I look at the shoes, and once I started looking at the shoes, they were fake. I had spent like $600. I had maxed out my, you know, my bread. I was like, damn, like $600. I kept that shoe to remind myself. I still have that shoe somewhere in a bin somewhere, because I was so mad at myself for being ignorant and trying to be selfish and trying to come up on someone that like it taught me lessons like never do that. Don't be fast on acting on something. Like respect the person, and that's where it all comes from. Like, you know, you kind of like, you know, you build scars and you build battle wounds, and you know, you keep going. But you know, it teaches you lessons along the way that you can kind of like put onto other aspects of life. It's not just about buying and selling something or hustling. Like it really teaches you about life. Like, you know, like that kid finessed me. He finessed me, but I thought I was finessing him. But you know, that's how life. That's how quick it goes. Like that's how the game is. Like before you know it, you know, you learn these lessons along the way, so you don't like commit those mistakes again.
Yeah. And I even think, to add on to that, it's just, you never know when shit like that's gonna happen. And like, it's karma basically. Like I remember one time my girl's grandpa upcharged someone on a job, and he made like an extra $600. And then that same day he was driving back home and got a speeding ticket for $600.
Fuck.
And it was like that. He was like, that was like God, like, you know, God checking me like, yo, don't do shit like that. Cause you know, it at the end it's not worth it, you know, like, cause you never know when, you know, that karma's gonna come back around, or even for him, like you don't even know what the fuck happened to him afterwards. Him doing that, you know?
Shout out to that kid, man. Taught me a $600 lesson that I applied to, like, you know, business in a much broader aspect of things. Cause, you know, that was a small price to pay for trying to act like greedy upon something, like, you know, and it taught me that lesson, and it taught me that lesson once, and that was it for me. Like once I learned that lesson, it was like, all right, cool. Don't try to finesse someone. Like, don't try to like come up on someone and be like unaware of the situation. You know, pay attention to like everything going on. But yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, everything kind of plays a role as you grow in like this business, because you know, when it gets to the certain point where, you know, you're buying shoes like the Kobe's, for example, that are right here, like, you know, you're not buying this shoe for $50, you know, like, you know, you got to spend some bread in order to like turn around and make some bread too. And it comes down to the point where you're like, you know, you're taking it's literally like you're investing into something, and investing into something that you know you're gonna get a set return from, maybe. And you know, a lot of this stuff too is very, very intricate and high end. you go to a very niche clientele. You know, like not everybody walking into the shop here, I'm sure, is spending $5,000-$10,000 on a sneaker. You know, like that like it gets very it's like a certain community within the community at that point. So you got to kind of like, you know how to move yourself, I guess, because, you know, I can buy this sort of stuff and I could tie all my money up in this stuff. But I know, for example, like, you know, like the lobsters, for example, like I know I needed to buy lobsters because everybody's trying to buy lobsters.
Yeah.
You know, so you need to have the lobsters so someone could hit you up and be like, yo, let me get a lobster. All right, cool. I got the lobster.
Yeah, you got to be updated with the market because I
Yeah.
feel like, let's say some guy brings an Off-White Chicago 1 right now, brand new,
Shit.
but then the guy behind him has 20, 25 used shoes. As crazy as it sounds, I'm going to pass on the Off-White 1 and buy the guy's,
Used
like, let's
shoes.
say my budget is at a certain time. Obviously,
Yeah.
it makes sense. If I could buy both, I'm going to buy both. But
Yeah.
let's say I'm cooked and then the guy right here has the Off-White 1 and then the guy behind them has all good box. Like, you always got to pay attention to what's coming in. Like, I'm like, oh shit, those are good boxes.
Yeah.
He comes in. I'd rather buy the guy's 25 used shoes because I understand right now for us, the used shoes are selling a lot better than the shoes in the case. Yeah, they still sell, but there's going to be more people trying to get a $150 steal than a $10,000 shoe or whatever they have right now.
And one thing about that I want to add to that is, like, you're aware of what you need to be doing for the audience that's going to be partaking in this environment. Like, you know, because I'm sure there's people that only are going to want to buy this sort of stuff because that's what everybody's looking at them for. Like, everybody's looking at them because they're expecting that sort of caliber of item.
Yeah.
You know, they're not expecting someone to post $100, $150, $250 shoe if, you know, they're known for posting like all the craziest PEs and this and that, you know. So that's one thing for like someone to like acknowledge in their own like space. You know, be aware of what you're doing and be aware of who you're catering to, because if you're not aware of like everything going on around you, you're gonna put yourself into like a hole where you're gonna have a bunch of like outdated stuff that nobody really wants to buy. Like, it's gonna sell eventually, but you know, you want to kind of turn around and you know, sell stuff. Like, you don't want to just buy a bunch of stuff just to look at. You know, if you're trying to really resell, you know, you want to turn product around. You want to sell stuff. You want to get more money and sell.
I feel like one thing that we do really well here is we stay updated with the market. Like, let's say you come and pick up this shoe and the guy says like, damn, 325, which I think is fair right now. But like, let's say they drop to 240 on StockX. So I'll literally be like, yo, just give me 280. Like, adjust on the fly. I learned that from District 1. It's just like, even though our price is this much, I'm always going to look at market to see that we're not tripping.
Yeah.
So I learned that from them because I would see Simon all the time. Like, somebody would come up and be like, yo, like, y'all charging this much? And Simon would be like, all right, cool. And like, let's say Panda Dunks when they were $400. Then he saw that they were $250. So then he'll be like, for a store, you could give us $300. But me paying attention the way he was doing business, I was just like, that's the way I'm gonna do business, because he's adjusting on the fly. He doesn't have to repicture or nothing. All he has to tell the person's like, oh, let me look at market real quick. Oh, you know, I could do this much because market is market.
You don't want to end up like a meme, like, you know, you have $500 Panda Dunks sitting, and they go ask you, and you're like, oh no, I don't know.
No, I'm gonna stay at that price. No, like Panda Dunks should be $225, if like at that $225 to $250. But then some stores I walk into them, they're still $350, $400. If you have the market, great. But I like adjusting on the fly and never feeling like I'm overcharging somebody.
And one thing about that too, I'm not hating on nobody, but like, I have people like, you know, like how you said, like, you know, they might have the market for it, but bro, that holds resentment with people when they buy a shoe for $400-$500 and then they like, you know, they spent that much money on a shoe. They might have, you know, considered the fact that they're going into a sneaker store and they're getting a decent deal, not getting like,
Waxed.
you know, like waxed like crazy. Cause then now they know, like, damn, I'm never gonna go back over there.
No.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm gonna just buy on StockX because StockX is like $300 cheaper on Go or like something. You know, like they're gonna go check all their apps now and buy it through the app because they went to a store and they got priced out by $300-$200.
No, yeah, and that goes back to us like having the experience. It's like you're coming in here and you're not coming into like a resale Foot Locker. You're coming into Syndicate, which is like you're here for the experience. You're here for getting a shout out. You're here for getting the Syndicate bag, the sticker, and the good service.
Like, you can talk to us. You can ask us a question about something. Like, it's not gonna be just a cut and paste. Like,
like Julian came in. It was his first Saturday here, the little intern. And I told him kind of how to like talk to people. And I was just like, bro, compliment on their shoes, talk about how the day is going. I was just like, don't just be like, hey, what's up, guys? Like, that's not enough for me. Like, for me, it's just like, you need the whole experience. And it's like, it could get annoying at times, but I'd rather them be like, oh, that's the shop that can't shut the fuck up, instead of like, oh, they didn't talk to me at all. And then going back to your knowing your clientele, I feel like we do really well with, we have a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Like, you come in here, you look at the case, you picture it, nice stuff. You go into the U section, you hunt, you see what you have. Yeah, and then here you got, like, everybody always says is like, you guys just don't have Jordan mids and dunks.
Yeah.
Which is something that I really, really take pride in. And you could come in here and find random stuff, Anderson Bell Asics. Like, I don't know what the fuck they wear, but I found out it has a market and somebody's looking for that shoe.
Yeah.
So if you post it and do good advertisement for it, somebody's gonna end up buying it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what is one of your, I would say, biggest wins, or something that you're like, damn, I did good on this?
So towards the end of last year, I have a friend that has always like enabled me in like a positive manner, and I would, he hits me up. I cash him out occasionally on like just random stuff that he happens to get. But he hits me up one day and he's like, yo, like, one of the homies has a pair of like some Louis Vuitton Air Forces. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, which color? He's like, oh, it's, what was it? The green pair, I think it was that I got first. I think I got the green from him. Yeah. And he hits me up. He's like, yo, he has a green pair. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, I have a green pair too. He's like, nah, it's not that one. It's not the one that you think. Like, it's the special one. And I'm just thinking like, what? Because he doesn't really like, he knows about sneakers, but he doesn't keep up to date with like everything happening in the sneaker world. And we put two and two together, and homie has friends and family Louis Vuitton Air Force Ones. And this all comes down to like networking, making sure you don't screw people over, because he would have never hit me up to tell me about his homie having this sneaker if I would have bought something off of him and screwed him over to begin with. Like, he appreciates the fact that like I'm transparent with him, like how you're transparent with him here. I'm transparent with people when I cash them out too. Like I tell him like, yo, like I'm able to pay this much and this much, and like that's what I would feel comfortable paying with. But like I'm sure you could get more if like if you want to take your time and like break down everything and sell everything individually or do whatever you want to do. But this is what I would need to pay. And I'm transparent with him in that aspect. So we've never had, like, we've never butted heads, or he never felt like I'm finessing him, because we break down everything individually and go from there. But because I was able to do that with him, he enabled me to partake in like this other deal. And he didn't even expect nothing out of it. Like he just like, like, let's see if you guys can make anything happen. Within a week, like this shoe sold for the most amount of money I've ever sold a shoe for. But it wasn't just that. It didn't end there, because within that same week, someone else hits me up. Shout out to the homies that's doing security. I'm not going to say your name just so, I don't know, keep it low pro. But he was doing security somewhere, and someone talked to him about something, and come to find out, a purple pair, friends and family Air Force Ones, pops up.
Fuck.
Purple pair after I just had the green pair. Like, I can't say how much I sold them for, because my mom is probably gonna watch this, but it
was a pretty penny.
Yeah, it was enough to like end the year off like, part of that whole epiphany thing that I was talking about. Like that's when I was like, oh damn, like I'm
real.
blessed.
Yeah.
Like this is a blessing. Like I can't stop here. Like, I hit the home run.
Yeah.
And, I'm trying to, go for the home run record right now. Like I'm trying to hit the derby. Like, I'm trying to keep going. Like just cause I made this much amount of money, like you could ask my homie right here, like, I don't get lazy because I made a certain amount of money. Like I wake up the next day just as ready to do some shit. Like, it's not the end of the world to like, just continue pursuing. You don't know where your limits are. Like who's to tell you what you can and can't achieve? Nobody could tell you what you can and can't achieve, because if I would have listened to all the people that I was around with before through like social media, like, and even older homies, like there's a couple that I just don't vibe with. Like we're just on different wavelengths, and it's not no disrespectful thing. Like, we're just doing different things. We're trying to achieve different things in life. And it all just comes down to like, just bro, like you could make some bread,
Yeah.
but don't let it get to your head.
No,
Like
yeah.
make some bread, don't let it get to your head, and just keep on going consistently, because it's like, you know, you can achieve shit that you might have never thought. Because that's what happened when I sold those shoes.
No,
Some
yeah. Because
crazy.
when I moved to New York, well, before I get there, one quick question: was it more than David's sale?
No comment. Hey.
No comment. Shout out
No
David.
comment.
Does David know
Hey.
the sale?
Hey, huh?
Did David know the sale price?
I think David does know the sale. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't be showing off. You feel me? Like,
No,
you know,
that's
if
good.
it's,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I mentioned it in a podcast before. How one thing I appreciate about you guys is
Yeah.
how low key you guys are. Like, yeah, you put your business out there as I'm like, yo, I got this, but you guys never, like, I run into some people and I still love them to death, but every time I meet up with them, they're always just like, I did this. Numbers through the roof, blah blah blah, and I'm like, bro, I'm your homie. I'm trying to talk to you about how's your day, how's your wife, you know? Like, I don't give a fuck if you fucking did 100K in a week, you know? Like, I literally don't care.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like
cool, bro. But
congrats,
it's just like,
but I know you as my homie.
Yeah.
Like, I want to talk to you about homie shit. You know, I want to tell you like how the fucking Mets are doing. You know, because I know you like the Mets. You know, like I don't care about your sales.
yeah,
But yeah, it's all about being consistent. Because if you tell me when I moved to New York for $22 an hour, which now thinking about it is fucking ridiculous. Like, as I'm like, I literally moved to a whole new city for $22 an hour. And then I started growing and growing and growing, but it wasn't because I was lazy. And I always make fun of it with DC, how like whenever I would feel that I was undervalued at my previous job, I would just take a vacation. I would literally just be like, you know what? I'll be back in 2-3 weeks, so you guys can see what you guys are missing.
Yeah.
So I always kind of knew how to leverage my talent and my skill set, where I was just like, all right, you know, it's smooth sailing, blah blah blah. Oh fuck, I need a little bit more bread, or I feel like I'm underappreciated. I would always take a little break, just so they can see what they were missing when I was gone, and it was a big piece. And then every time when I would come back, smooth sailing, I'd be like, yo, you're gonna give me more bread, and they'd be like, yeah, we got you, blah blah. But it was me staying consistent to my craft. Like, I look at pictures that I was taking at round 2. And I'd be like, damn, those pictures are fucking trash compared to the pictures I'm taking now. And some people might look at it and I'm like, why are you so anal about this? But fucking Steve Jobs is my idol. And Steve Jobs wanted the perfect fucking square angle for his phone. So every time I'm taking a picture, I'm like, yo, I want the perfect angle. And just like getting used to those certain things, I feel like prepared me for this job, where I'm just like, I'm taking real life stuff into this. This is real life too, but it's just it's a craft, I would say. It's a niche.
it's like surreal. Like, you're going into an experience that you would have almost never thought you would be able to do and like curate and put together and show up to, and it's yours. Like, it's who you are. It's
like,
what you do.
When you really think about it, we're making money involved in an industry that is new, but it's a hobby for us. It's essentially a hobby.
Yeah.
It's just like we come from a skill where like we were kids that are genuinely into it. Like, you're genuinely into shoes, Supreme, and all that stuff, and now you're making a career out of it.
Yeah. It's like the way that I look at it, it's like the whole, you know, like I spent 5 years like trying to figure out the whole lining up for stuff and buying shoes and bringing people and paying this and paying that. Like, all that kind of built that like platform for me to like understand and comprehend business in a whole different aspect, that from the outside in, it's like you said, like the overhead situation for the shop. Like, you know, from the outside in, it just looks like someone's trying to whack you for something, but in reality, like, being super fair considering everything else that's going around. Like, and you know, like, we don't buy stuff for retail. We don't buy stuff for, you know, dirt cheap. Like, everything is pay to play is what I try to tell people. Like, yo, like, I have a bunch of homies that would like ask me for like favors or let me get this, let me get that. I'm like, bro, like, you know, like, it's pay to play for me. Like, I'm not getting stuff for free, and I'm not trying to be rude or be mean or anything or be come off like a dick, but like, you know, I need to pay for stuff. I still got to make money because, you know, I got a daughter. My daughter just turned 1 like, you know, a few months ago. So it's like, you know, now there's her involved in my life. You feel me? So it's like, it's not even me not trying to hook you up, but like, I'll hook you up when I can.
Yeah.
But, you know, I can't hook you up every single time. Like, you know, I got like, you know, I got a business to run still. Like,
go ahead.
And I even feel like that, like stuff like that, where, even personally, I've had to figure that out between people, and even with myself. It's just like there's a difference between homies and business. And sometimes people don't get that differentiation of when it's like, yo, this is not personal, this is just business, bro. And I'm not trying, and some people even take that personally where they're like, oh, well, you fucked me over on this. It's like, nah, bro, it's just business. Like, you know, I got to do what I got to do. You got to do what you got to do. And I feel like that's something, you know, people can take away where, like you're saying, you know, like you have a daughter too as well. So it's not just like, all right, fuck it, I got you. I don't got to worry about it. Like, you got to worry about your daughter now. You got to make sure she got, you know, she's getting fed and everything. So I think that's something people have to understand too back at home is like, it's business, you know, like, but obviously on the back end, like you said, like if you're my homie, I got you on the next one or whatever, you know?
Yeah, I feel like you put this, like how he always says, is the battery in your back. And I feel like with you, I'm pretty sure you seeing your daughter, you're like, yo, like I'm going to kill it for you and me and for my family.
I turned up last year. Like I turned up because of that. I was like, yo, I'm not like, I felt like I was kind of hitting like a lazy-ish part, but I was like, you know what? Nah, like I can't be lazy. Like I can't, like this is like what I've been working all these other years for. Why am I going to get to this point and be like, oh, cool, like let's chill now. Let's just bullshit like the rest of the year. Like, nah, what?
Yeah. And I would even say, like, I guess to kind of wrap it up a little bit, what's keeping you sane through all this? Because I know we all face, like, you know, of just, like, stress and, you know, we don't eat. Sometimes we don't sleep. We get fucking stressed out. You know, like, what's something that keeps you, like, going, I guess, or that keeps you calm throughout all these, like, numbers and money and this and that? Like, what's that one thing or multiple things that keeps you, like, sane throughout all this?
I mean, aside from like my daughter, honestly, the fact of like seeing my daughter, bro, and like you just see the excitement regardless of anything. Yeah. Like I could be having a terrible day, but like she'll see me and it'll lighten her face up and she'll be happy as hell to see me no matter what. Yeah. And then aside from that, like, you know, I pride myself in like, you know, being like very close to my family. Like I love my mom. You know, I have my stepdad that, you know, came into my life at a certain point in my life and like, you know, butted heads for a while because of the same thing that I was doing. Like, you know, I was bullshitting my life supposedly, but I was trying to figure it out. But like, you know, showing love to them. I got 2 sisters that I appreciate. You know, everybody kind of butts heads, but you know, we cool. Like we love each other at the end of the day. Yeah. So having that like net around me and like being able to like, you know, confidently go into like a conversation with them and like talking about them like about like stress or just you know work bullshit or just like, you know, we all work different, you know, things, but being able to just have like my family still really close to me really like takes away a certain like stress that is just inevitable. Like, you know, you work, you're gonna be stressed at some point because of something. And just having family really close, honestly, like don't underappreciate having family close to you because you might take something for granted that, you know, someone might not have the opportunity to take for granted. Yeah. So just appreciate everything.
Yeah, it's like always finding a joy into something. I would say like I come in every day and I'm just like, I love what I do. Like, yeah, it gets stressful, but I'm just like, at the end of the day, I'm working inside my closet. Not a lot of people can say that, but I see it in Andy. I see it in a lot of people where I'm just like, yo, like they really fuck with what they do. And if you don't fuck with what you do, you know, there's always time to make a change. There's always stuff to make a change. I feel like even like when I go out to eat in places, I think weirdly. Like I'm a weird thinker, bro. And I'll be like, yo, this person really enjoys making these fucking burritos at Chipotle, you know? But they really do. But then sometimes you see, I'm like, yo, this motherfucker hates his job. But I'm not going to judge because we're all going through something. And I feel like once you understand that and you find a little bit of joy in what you actually do, everything's going to be all right. We all have the same time, 24 hours. You just got to actually find something that you actually enjoy. And I'll tell every kid in the world, like, enjoy what you do, and it's always going to come. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. And I feel like that's one thing that you did well because I'm telling you, bro, like, I've known about you for fucking years, like, through Jackie and stuff like that. And it's just, like, I've seen growth, like, and it's steady growth. And then now I look at it and I'm just like, fuck, how do I get 60 personal lobsters? But not even like, yo, man, fuck him, blah, blah, blah. It's always just like, yo, I want to be able to do this too.
Nah, it's all love, bro. For real. It's all love.
Sure. Well, I think that's a good way to end it up. Appreciate you for coming out, bro. Wish you tons of success. If y'all need shoes and we don't got it, he probably got it. So hit him up as well. Follow his Instagram.
If I don't got it, they got it.
Yeah, vice versa.
Exactly. Follow him. hit them up. And if you guys have any questions and want a part 2, let us know in the comments.
Yes, sir.
Woo!
Like, comment, subscribe.
Giveaway.
Store credit out. Yeah.